Possessions are no longer just old stories. They're happening everywhere.
Eu não vou descer não, sou.
In homes, on busy streets, and even on balconies.
No, I don't want to.
People are losing control to something unseen, leaving everyone questioning what's really taking over them. So let's begin. Before starting this video, hit like and subscribe, and watch closely because you never know when you will be the next. Inside a church in Cordoba, Spain in 2023, chaos broke out when a woman suddenly rushed toward the statue of the divine child Jesus. Men tried to restrain her as she shouted and struggled to break free, her eyes fixed on the statue as if drawn by something unseen. One man attempted to calm her, but she wouldn't listen, her voice rising with anger and distress until she finally stormed out. The moment left the witnesses shaken. It looked like she was under possession, or the holy atmosphere triggered something hidden deep within her. But the way she reacted inside that church, it's as if something sacred had recognized what was inside her. Church possession. In a quiet Indonesian church, prayers were interrupted when a man suddenly fell to the floor, his body stiff and his head bent back. The woman beside him froze, unsure if he was in a struggle or a trance. Within seconds, he stood up, looking confused and dazed, as though unaware of what had happened. Witnesses later said it felt like something had entered and left in that same brief moment. The woman went to her and helped him reach home. Since that day, visitors claim to feel a strange heaviness near that same spot, as if something unseen still lingers, waiting to be called again. Wheelchair miracle.
Will come out of this wheelchair.
During a faith gathering, a man bound to his wheelchair seemed overtaken by something unseen. His face twitched, and his hands moved erratically until a pastor placed a hand on his forehead, commanding the dark force to leave. Within moments, the man collapsed, then slowly rose to his feet. The crowd erupted in praise, calling it a miracle. Yet, those who re-watched the recording noticed his expression afterward, blank, almost distant, like he wasn't fully present. Some believed the spirit had left him, others weren't so sure. Perhaps it didn't leave at all, just learned how to stand. California incident. In California, a man filmed something he never should have seen. His sister sat on the floor, her body twisting in unnatural ways, her face blank as though her mind had disappeared. Then, in one terrifying instant, she lifted herself upside down, her limbs rigid, her movements robotic. The guy dropped the camera and ran. No one knows what happened next, whether she returned to normal or she never spoke again. But the footage remains online, frozen at the moment where human and inhuman blur together. Ruqya session. It happened in July 2025. A live Ruqya session showed a girl struggling as verses were recited over her. Her eyes rolled upward, her body stiffened, and she began to scream as if something inside her resisted leaving. The man continued reading until she suddenly went silent. For a few seconds, she stared blankly, breathing slowly, and then lowered her head. The exorcist said she was free, but many watching noticed her still disturbed. The live stream ended soon after, and that same account never posted again. Some said the silence that followed was part of the ritual. Others said it wasn't. Restaurant freeze. What began as a harmless dinner turned into one of the eeriest celebrity clips online. Actress Issa Rae was caught on camera placing a small chip-like object against her temple before freezing mid-motion. Her eyes shifted, not human. When the camera turned, her friend was doing the same. Both sat still, their expressions blank. The footage ended there, and no one knows what happened next. Fans called it a glitch. Others called it possession. But the question remains, were they acting strangely, or was something acting through them?
Her friend, too?
Balcony possession.
What's wrong? I was getting hot. Is that what?
In South Florida, neighbors filmed a young woman behaving in a way that still disturbs viewers. Her body moved in broken, unnatural angles as she tried to climb her balcony railing. Her sister, terrified, watched through the window while calling for help, but no one went near in fear.
Oh my God, she's like throwing her sand like a, oh my God, she's not.
When it was shared online, people blamed it on a new street substance. But those who saw the raw footage disagreed. Her movements were too sharp, too inhuman. Even her face looked wrong, as if something else was watching through her. What do you think? Comment below.
I don't want to even go close.
Colby's experiment. During a supernatural experiment filmed in an abandoned basement in Mexico, Colby sat tied to a chair, calling for a dark presence to reveal itself. His friend Martin waited nearby, ready to intervene if needed. Minutes passed quietly until Colby's face shifted. A blank stare replaced his expression, followed by a slight grin. Martin's torch flickered, the signal for help. When his friend rushed down, Colby was motionless, his eyes fixed on something unseen. He untied him quickly, ending the experiment. Colby later said he felt something enter and leave him frozen for seconds. He's never spoken of it again, but Martin says he hasn't been the same since that night. Child at gate.
Ayo, kenapa? Kamu kenapa?
The man named Steve, a technician in Brazil, was returning home from work one evening, but then he found a young girl sitting quietly outside his gate. He called her several times, but she didn't respond, or even flinch. Finally, he stepped closer and placed his hand on her shoulder.
Kena hujan nanti, kena hujan. Yuk kena hujan yuk.
When she turned around, her face appeared horribly distorted, so much that the camera couldn't capture it clearly. Startled, the man dropped his phone and ran. The footage ended there. The man said no one in that neighborhood had ever seen the girl again. Steve now believes she wasn't a child at all, but a demonic entity.
Ayo, kenapa? Kamu kenapa?
Shelf encounter. Karen, a TikTok creator from Mexico, was casually recording a vlog with her family. Everything seemed cheerful until her sister began acting oddly and walked to the bathroom. Karen brushed it off, went to the kitchen for drinks, and turned on the lights. When she pointed her camera toward the shelf, she froze. Her sister was sitting on top of it, still, stiff, and disturbingly quiet. Her face looked void of emotion, her eyes distant. Karen's phone slipped as she gasped and ran off screen. Later, she posted the clip online where viewers said a dark force was living inside her. Street encounter. It was April 2020, Toronto. Pastor David Lynn was mid-sermon when a man stepped forward, his voice deepening, his eyes wide and unblinking. The tone wasn't his own. It was as if something else was speaking through him. Cameras captured the moment his words shifted from anger to threat, declaring control over nations.
Do each and every one you understand me? Don't play with the God that ruins this earth.
Pastor David stood firm, calling out for divine protection. Witnesses swear the man's voice echoed unnaturally, layered like two people speaking at once. It seemed to be a warning that spiritual forces were clashing right there in public. And the video proves that evil doesn't hide anymore. It speaks right through us. Eerie exorcism. A live exorcism took a chilling turn in a small Italian village in 2022. Cameras recorded a woman thrashing uncontrollably as her family and a local priest prayed beside her. Then suddenly, her body rose up in the air. The exorcist stumbled back, stunned. Even her family ran out of the room. The recording ended with her suspended midair, motionless but wide-eyed. The priest said it was a powerful spirit leaving her body, but it looked like the footage was never meant to be public, part of secret Vatican archives that somehow leaked. Whatever the truth, what lifted her that day defied gravity and reason. Haunted house. An urban explorer entered an abandoned house in Michigan after hearing stories of it being haunted. Everything seemed ordinary until he looked at a cupboard and froze. Inside stood an eerie figure with a tilted head, her face unlike anything human. For a few seconds, she didn't move. Then, slowly, her body began to float sideways. The explorer ran out immediately, leaving his camera behind. Later, locals claimed no one dared enter again. Some even said the woman had lived there decades ago and never left. Whether ghost or something darker, that cupboard became known as the place where eyes still watch. Possessed streamer. During a live stream from California, influencer Gabrielle Lawrence was speaking to her followers when something went terribly wrong. Her voice broke mid-sentence, and then she screamed. A scream so raw it froze the chat. Her mouth opened unnaturally wide, her expression blank, yet terrifying. Thousands watched in disbelief. Some claimed it was a panic attack. Others said she had been taken over during the live session.
It's alright, I feel that way too. It's alright.
Unexpected charge.
Le caiga tu sangue.
During a quiet mass, a priest was suddenly attacked by a woman screaming in unsettling tones. Her shrieks echoed through the church as he held his ground, continuing the ceremony despite her lunging toward him. Witnesses said her voice didn't sound human. It was deeper, distorted. When she was restrained, she kept screaming.
Del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo.
The priest later said he felt a strong resistance, as if something unseen was present in the room. It reminded many of the old belief that dark forces can't stand sacred prayers. Maybe that's why she reacted that way. Midnight spook. A home security camera recorded something deeply disturbing. A woman stood in her room, holding a doll tightly, speaking to it in whispers no one could understand. Her eyes glowed faintly, her mouth stretched into a fixed smile, and she swayed back and forth as if hypnotized. The footage continued until the video abruptly stopped. Viewers who analyzed the clip noticed one chilling detail. The doll's head seemed to move ever so slightly before the cut. Whether it was a trick of light or something darker, no one knows. But whoever reviewed the footage later claimed the file wouldn't play again, as if something didn't want to be seen twice. Train passenger. This 2014 clip from Edmonton resurfaced years later, unsettling everyone who watched it. A woman on a train, quietly scrolling through her things, suddenly froze. Her face twisted, her eyes went wide, and she started moving eerily. Witnesses said her movements were sharp, broken, almost inhuman, like she wasn't in control of her own. Authorities claimed it was a seizure, but those who saw the raw footage disagreed. The quick shift, the growl caught faintly in the background, it didn't look medical at all. Demonic follower. Henry's live streaming footage from 2024 went viral online. Walking home late, He noticed a man with strange white eyes following him on the stairs. Henry rushed inside and shut the door. Seconds later, curiosity made him peek through the door, but the figure was gone. Then suddenly, the man appeared again, this time from behind the wall. His face looked stretched, his stare unblinking. Neighbors later claimed no one lived near his apartment for months. So who or what followed Henry home that night? It might be a demon pretending to be human, or something even darker. Unexpected moment. In September 2021, a grocery store in China captured something beyond explanation. A woman bent down to pick up an item that had fallen from the shelf, but the moment she touched it, her body went rigid. Her head jerked unnaturally as she twisted and fell to the floor. A shopper beside her rushed to help, only to be shoved back with unexpected force. Soon, others gathered, but anyone who got close seemed pushed away as if by an unseen hand. The video ended, leaving viewers disturbed. They claimed it was possession, or it might be a seizure. But if that's true, what made the others feel that invisible push? Cafeteria entity. This chilling clip from Indonesia, recorded in 2018 but resurfaced in 2025, left viewers speechless. A woman dressed completely in white sat alone in a cafeteria, her back facing the security camera. Seconds later, she slowly turned toward it, revealing a pale face and glowing eyes that looked nothing human. The camera glitched before going black. No one knows who she was or how she appeared there, only that the footage came from a night when the building was supposedly closed. She did not seem just a woman, but something using her form to be seen, if only for a moment, before the system failed. Theater incident. In a small South Texas theater, an ordinary movie night turned eerie when a man suddenly began convulsing in his seat. A bishop who happened to be present handed holy water to a nearby viewer, who rushed to help. Within seconds, the man's voice changed, shouting words no one understood. Theater staff and the bishop managed to restrain him until he went silent again. His identity was never revealed, only that he later returned home safely. But what disturbed many was the timing. Right as the film reached a scene about possession, it might be a coincidence or something answering from beyond the screen. Broken connection.
Napapakiramdam ko nun, yung
During a 2022 talk show in Thailand, guest Jane Civico joined by video call, laughing lightly as she greeted the hosts. But moments later, her demeanor shifted, her smile froze, and her face distorted as if something inside her was trying to take control. The studio fell silent when Father Ramon Marino, present as an expert, warned everyone not to speak directly to it.
Jane! Father, pakitignan lang po.
Jane, are you okay?
Seconds later, Jane's screen flickered, and the call abruptly cut off. The show confirmed afterward that Father Marino had visited her home. What he encountered, he said, was not entirely human. Since then, that broadcast has never been replayed, and the channel refuses to comment. Pope's touch. In May 2013, Vatican cameras captured an unsettling moment in St. Peter's Square. As Pope Francis prayed over a young man in a wheelchair, the man began to tremble violently, gasping and opening his mouth as if in silent screams. Within seconds, he slumped, motionless. Debate spread across the world. Was it an exorcism or simply a blessing? Vatican officials denied any ritual, calling it a prayer for healing. Yet exorcists reviewing the footage claimed there was no doubt what had happened. To this day, the Vatican's stance remains unchanged, but those who've studied the video closely swear they saw something, an unseen force leaving the body the moment the Pope's hand touched his head. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Uncanny Livestream. This night shift security guard decided to go live from his station in 2025, claiming he'd been hearing strange sounds. At first, he seemed calm, until his body suddenly stiffened, his head twisting unnaturally. Breathing heavily, he pressed his holy locket to his forehead, whispering words. His eyes rolled back, and the camera began to shake. Then, the stream ended. The feed never came back, and the guard never posted again. Whatever took control that night, but one thing was clear. He was under the control of something darker, not ready to leave his body. Stage takeover. During a live performance, rapper Nelly appeared completely different. Fans noticed his eyes rolling upward and his body jerking in strange, unnatural ways. The camera caught him making hand gestures and tapping his forehead repeatedly before pointing upward. The moment spread across social media with claims that he was under a dark influence. Fans compared it to other performers who said their onstage personas take control. If true, maybe these personas aren't just acts. They could be something ancient using fame as a vessel. Coincidence or a coded confession? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The revival.
What are you doing to her? I torment her a lot.
During a live stream from a Los Angeles park, a woman captured something extraordinary. A group had gathered around a young girl believed to be possessed. Her body trembled, her face tense with resistance. The people surrounding her began praying loudly, repeating one name, Jesus. Within seconds, the girl gasped deeply and fell silent, then smiled. The woman behind the camera was left speechless. Whether it was faith, energy, or something divine, the footage made many rethink what power really means, and what happens when belief meets the unseen.
She will preach the gospel. Our time is up. Go now in Jesus' name.
Cross test. An exorcism video from 2023 left viewers unsettled. A young girl sat surrounded by family, her body twisting as if something powerful fought from within. The priest held up a cross, but instead of fear, she smiled, mocking him, eyes fixed and unblinking.
You are not stronger than Christ.
As the cross touched her forehead, she began speaking in a language no one recognized, her tone layered and unnatural. The priest urged her family to hold her tighter, but the video ended before anyone saw what happened next. Some believe the silence afterward wasn't just the end of the footage, but the moment whatever was inside her finally took control. Doll ritual. An unsettling video known online as Obey the Walrus resurfaced with new details. It showed a woman sitting in her basement, speaking softly to a doll placed before her. The doll appeared to respond, moving slightly as if alive. Then she placed it on a shelf, and the doll lifted a small container in its hands. The footage cut off there. No one knows what happened next. Maybe the clip was staged, but it is possible that she was attempting a ritual meant to transfer a spirit into the doll. If that's true, the question isn't what she summoned, but whether it ever left. Levitating man. "2023 brought a disturbing clip that showed a man lying on a cement slab, his body twisting unnaturally as he screamed in agony. His eyes rolled back, turning completely white. Then, without warning, he began to levitate, his arms and head rotating in impossible motions. Moments later, the footage glitched, cutting to black. Days afterward, a new video appeared online showing what viewers claimed was the same man, but his body looked changed. He was transformed into an unknown figure, whether it was real footage or something darker taking form. One thing was certain, whatever possessed him that day didn't leave quietly. Terrifying session.
I'm Josh Brisley. I'm 18 years old, and this is my first.
A chilling video showed a man sitting in a room in Georgia being tested by a psychologist. His body language was restless, his jaw tensed as if holding something back. At first, he answered calmly, though every word seemed forced. Then, mid-question, his face twisted. He screamed uncontrollably, like he couldn't hold it in anymore. The psychologist froze, unsure whether to comfort or run. The video stopped, ending on that haunting scream. Maybe the test wasn't to study him, but to see what was already inside. Reappearing man. In 2024, a man in Malaysia was recording inside an abandoned house when someone unexpectedly appeared. His friend, who had vanished years ago, was said to be possessed by a jinn. The missing man's distorted face peeked through the top of a broken door, unmoving yet aware. When the man turned to check the hallway, the figure vanished. But as he turned back, the same face was now standing in another doorway. He tried to zoom in, trembling, but the video stopped instantly. No one knows what happened to the man after that, but he was never seen again. Ouija aftermath.
On the floor now, so, not on the table.
A couple from Florida filmed themselves playing the Ouija board for fun. Hours later, their laughter turned into panic. Their Google device suddenly activated on its own, repeating phrases about contacting a spirit. Then, doors creaked open. The dog barked at empty hallways, and faint knocks were heard from the basement. They fled that night, leaving everything behind. When they returned days later, their security camera showed motion in the house, though no one was there. Viewers who analyzed the footage claim the Ouija board invited those spirits. Have you guys experienced something like that? Fun turned eerie. It began as laughter among friends. One girl twisting on a chair, her eyes wide open, body stiff as if caught mid-motion. Everyone thought it was a prank. Her strange movements were part of the fun, but her laughter never came back. Moments later, her body kept jerking while her friends were unsure what they were seeing. When she was taken to a medical facility, doctors said she was under control, but no one explained what that meant. What started as a joke turned into something really scary. Chef's shift. A short clip from a restaurant kitchen shocked viewers worldwide. A chef working alone late at night was seen doing his job, until his body began twisting unnaturally. His neck bent backward, his shoulders locked, and the camera glitched for a split second before cutting out. No one else was there, and the restaurant confirmed the clip wasn't edited. The next morning, co-workers found his tools scattered and the stove still on, but he wasn't seen on the premises. People online debated exhaustion, medical condition, or something darker that entered when he was most alone. Interview gone wrong.
No, he did not. I'm sorry.
In 2023, a live morning show turned unsettling when Kevin, a young man once exorcised, appeared to share his story. Calm at first, he described how a ritual once drove something out, but not completely. Then, in front of the host and cameras, his tone changed. He argued that the spirit never left him, claiming he could still feel it within.
But now, he's still inside of me, but I can control it. He did not go back to... The video ended. He never did
nothing. I swear.
The host tried to dismiss it, but Kevin's expression grew distant, his words sharp, as though something else was responding. The clip abruptly ended after the studio lights flickered. No one knows what truly happened that day, only that the broadcast was never aired again. Dark stage. At Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in Paris on May 9th, 2024, fans expected glamour, but what they saw was something else entirely. During one act, the visuals shifted to eerie tones as Taylor appeared with glowing white eyes. Her costume sharp and shadowed, her movements mechanical and unnerving. Some fans called it artistic expression, yet others claimed the performance carried a deeper meaning, like she was embodying something beyond performance. Online theories began flooding in, suggesting hidden symbolism and occult imagery woven into her set. Whether it was just creativity or a deliberate transformation, many left the concert uneasy, saying it didn't feel like a show. It felt like a ritual. Eerie woman. A 2020 security clip from Florida showed what first appeared to be a woman standing in her kitchen. Everything seemed normal until her arms came into view, unnaturally long, hanging almost down to her feet. Then she turned toward the camera, her sinister smile stretched wide and motionless across her face, her eyes fixed on the lens. The footage lasted only seconds before cutting out completely. Experts blamed poor video quality or distortion, but many online disagreed, claiming no camera glitch could alter someone's arms like that. Some even suggested the woman was something imitating human form, and for a moment, it forgot how a body should look. On-air voice. It began like any regular religious talk show in 2011. A woman called in, her voice calm yet shaky, claiming a jinn refused to leave her body. As she spoke, her tone shifted, guttural, layered, as though two voices were speaking at once.
Yes, we block.
The host tried reciting verses, but she started laughing, a sound that didn't feel human. Then the call cut. No one could trace where the call came from, and even the station reported unusual audio interference. It was possibly because of the jinn taking control of her. Weird preacher. During a 2017 religious convention in Canada, preacher Kenneth Copeland's sermon took a dark turn. His voice dropped deeper, his smile vanished, and his movements became erratic, almost unnatural.
Don't ever do it. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Don't ever do it!
The crowd went silent, unsure whether it was exhaustion or something else taking over. Those in the front rows swore his eyes changed, his tone not matching his lips. The clip spread across the internet. Some called it edited. Others believed it showed the moment he lost control to a darker force. What do you believe? Was it fatigue or a spirit speaking through him? Comment below.
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Enfield voice.
You think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
In the 1980 Enfield poltergeist footage, 11-year-old Janet Hodgson sat calmly during a BBC interview. The room was quiet until she spoke, and a gravelly male voice came out instead. It identified itself as Bill, a man long dead.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Doctor Who?
Her family had already witnessed furniture move and knocks echo through the walls. But when that voice laughed, mocking the investigators, the entire crew froze. Skeptics called it mimicry, but experts ruled her throat couldn't produce that tone. The clip ends with Janet's eyes rolling upward, whispering something unknown. Some still believe she wasn't just haunted, she was being used as a mouthpiece for a force that wanted to be heard. Exorcism. In 2024, a man in distress called an exorcist after days of watching his daughter act unlike herself. The recording showed the girl screaming as verses were recited, her voice breaking into tones that didn't sound like her own. The man held her arms while the exorcist tapped her forehead and prayed louder, trying to drive out whatever was fighting back. For a moment, she stared at the man, still expressionless, and then screamed again. It seemed like the jinn inside her was resisting leaving. If you guys have any videos like this, do share them in the comments below. Open discussion. This clip from Georgia shows a woman under possession inside a priest community known for real exorcisms. The video begins with priests reciting verses, while the woman stands still. until her body bends backward and she starts climbing up the wall with inhuman movements. Her arms twisted the wrong way, her legs bent unnaturally. The camera shook, and the footage ended before her body reached the ceiling. More videos from the same place later surfaced, showing similar cases, each with the same climbing behavior. No one knows what they faced there, but the walls of that church may have seen what few humans ever should. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.